On behalf of the beautiful bridesmaids who've done a wonderful job today, I'm sure you'll agree. And on behalf of the groomsmen who've done their best, we'd all like to thank Fiona and John for involving us in their special day. I'm especially delighted to be involved today because myself and John, we go a long way back. As John's already mentioned, there's only a matter of weeks, between when we were born. We sat beside each other on our first day at school. And we've never really ever lived more than a stone's throw away from each other. In fact, towards the end of '75, we actually lived under the same roof for a number of weeks. And I'll never forget that Christmas in the rafters. Getting up on Christmas morning was magical. John and myself and the rest of the gang walking into the living room to see it just packed full of toys was just fantastic. But there was one present that was sitting there that stood out for John. A present that Dominic had bought for him. It was a World War II German infantry uniform. Complete with Luger handgun, but actually fired pellets. And John loved this uniform. He put it on straight away, and dare I say it, he wore that uniform with a certain amount of pride. In fact, I go as far to say the enduring memory that has stayed with me from Christmas '75 is of John dressed as a Nazi terrorizing his already ruler. Thankfully, by the time Fiona was a twinkle in Phyllis's and Ewan's eyes, all of John's tendencies towards ultra-fascism had faded. Europe was breathing a sigh of relief. And John was well on his way to becoming the guy we all know and love today. I know that Eamon and Phyllis don't need any reassurances as to the type of son-in-law they've gained today. And I know that Fiona doesn't need to be reminded of John's qualities, but I'm going to give you just a few. John's a determined, hard-working guy. Failure is it's not an option for John. He's courageous. And I don't know whether any of you know about this, but just a couple of years ago, when John was stood outside the shop, he noticed an old lady having her handbag taken by a thug. Without thinking twice, he was up the road after that guy. Oh yeah. He tackled him, took that handbag back off him. You're stealing me thunder, man. Didn't actually return it to the old lady. Thank you very much. But it was courageous nonetheless. John is one of the wittiest, funniest fellas I know. Traits he no doubt gets from me Aunt Josephine. So you'll all be guaranteed there'll be laughter in the rafters. But there's one quality that John possesses. It won't be obvious to many of you here tonight. Fiona knows what it is. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that Fiona will get to be serenaded by John's angelic voice every day for the rest of her life. Now, those of you here that have played karaoke with John and Fiona know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you that haven't, fear not. I've had a word with the band, and they've agreed to let John do a number so as we can all share in his gift. What about that? Come on! I'd like to talk briefly now about the night John and Fiona hooked up. I say briefly because I can't remember an awful lot about it. But what I do remember was myself and John, with a local nightclub, stood at our usual spot, just outside the ladies. Whenever Fiona come up, and the two of them hit it off straight away. I couldn't believe it, you know, straight away. Because John was never really that fast with them. But little did I know that they'd been meeting on a regular basis before this. Fiona, who had a part-time job in Spar, was selling John his salad roll every lunchtime for weeks. So you know, it's true what they say. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But getting back to the night in question, the two of them went off and left me standing outside that lady's all by myself. And I didn't see John for 6 months. But, ladies and gentlemen, who could blame him? Fiona's absolutely beautiful and she's looking fabulous today. I can't stand up here this evening without mentioning some of the guys that John has grown up with and hung around with. To mention a few would be Paul, myself, Sam McKenna, Bannis, Joe Sheen, I don't think he's here, Peter Caffrey, Colin Caffrey on occasions, and of course the latecomer Barty Gardy. These guys all were fantastic lads to hang out with. Every one of them brought something different to the party, and we kept the party candle lit for years. There's many stories that one could tell from these days, and I'm sure there's quite a few you might like to hear them. But I think it's best, those that do, meet me at the bar after the water show. Although, there was this one time, oh yes, when all the lads were in a nightclub in Drogheda, one of them was all done up in his 100% viscose, shiny double-breasted shirt, so it was obviously the 1980s. He had a box of cigarettes in one pocket and a box of something else in the other. He met up with these two girls and he was doing his best. He was trying to be cool, you know, moving a little bit to the music. And with a quick flick of the wrist, he tried to flick out the box of cigarettes to offer the girls a smoke. But in his haste, he's gone to the wrong pocket. And I'll never forget the look of despair that descended on his face when he realised he was stood in front of these lovely girls waving a box of condoms. Of course, all the lads now are more sensible and they're busy doing more important stuff like paying for mortgages, raising families, and playing golf. And with today's wedding, it means that there's only two of them left. And Bannis, where are you? You've got a girlfriend. So that means there's only one that's completely unattached. Oh, go on, Dad. Where's that? Oh, come on. Thank you. But don't despair. Roganstown have agreed to put a speed dating table in reception for me. So if there's anybody, any young ladies here that are single ladies, any ladies at all, that might be interested, then come and see me after maybe. And finally, I'd just like to finish on one point, all joking aside. And that's to say that Neil Young once wrote, "A man needs a maid." I think a man needs a companion, a lover, a soulmate. And ladies and gentlemen, in Fiona, my great friend John has found his.